What is going on, everybody? We're here Friday Night Live. Duncan's in the house. What is going on, Duncan? Hope you're having a good night. Um, we got a lot to get into, guys. Tua's back. Guess who's back? Tua's back. And what does that mean? That means we're playing Tyreek. That means we're playing Jalen Waddle. That means we're putting Devin A. Chain back in the lineup. Um, we gotta. It's time, right? I was a little surprised we're getting Tua back, right? Really thought I wasn't sure if he was coming back this season or not, but he's coming back. So when Tua's in the lineup, they play better. So we're going with them. I know I've got a couple leagues that I'm hurt. There's one in particular I was hurt in QB wise because Tua was my quarterback, and then my backups was whoever was the Raiders starter, either um, Minshew or O'Connell, and it just wasn't going good. Was not going good. I haven't been playing Devin A. Chain lately because just without Tua in that lineup, it's crazy. I was having a conversation with someone today, and they're like, "Is Tua MVP?" Because with him in there, they're a really good team, playoff contender, and without him, they can't sniff a win. They're just awful, awful. And I'm like, oh well, yeah. I mean, technically by the term now, they're not going to give someone like him the MVP. But yeah, what's up, bro? Olave or Dobbs, and is Debo playing? All right, let's see what's going on with Debo. I heard he came out. He practiced limited the other day, so he might be a game time decision. Let's take a look and see what the latest is on him. He is listed as questionable. Um, Barely played in week 7. He was hospitalized with pneumonia. So I'm not really seeing much out there. It's going to be a wait and see type thing. Now, here's the thing that sucks is he's playing at night. So, hopefully we've got somebody that we can put in place just to make sure, right? Um that's what I'm hoping for is hopefully you got Olave and you got Dobbs. Um I, is Carr coming back this week? I know he was close to coming back. Um, I don't like Olave. He's listed as doubtful right now. So I don't like Olave with Spencer Radler in the lineup. I just don't. So I want to go Dobbs is where I want to go, and hopefully John, you got someone that you can put in there, um, instead of Debo, just because we're unsure, and we might not find out until game time. And because we might not find out till game time, it might be too late to put somebody else in your lineup, right? So again, this is one of those situations that we've talked about the last couple weeks, guys. You got a guy who's going into a game and we're unsure of their status. With this particular situation, this is kind of similar to the James Cook situation that we had a few weeks ago. Cook was playing on Monday night, and we had to make a decision. And I said, if you got someone who's healthy that you know is going to play them versus rolling the dice with James Cook. That's what we're going to be doing with Debo here. If you have somebody who's healthy, who we know is going to be playing, we're going to play them over Debo because we don't know with Debo. And then by the time we find out, again, if he's game time decision, by the time we find out, it could be too late, and we might not be able to have someone to start. So that's where we're sitting at with that. Next question: Tua or Kyler? Okay, so you've actually got a viable backup in Kyler. Whereas with my situation with Tua is I got Tua or Gardner Minshew, and I'm going with Tua because Minshew just hasn't been good. Um, Kyler, they're playing Miami. Miami is a little bit tough on quarterbacks. They give up the least amount of points to quarterbacks. Um, he 145, a touchdown and an interception. He had a rushing touchdown last week. I mean, his numbers haven't been staggering. They haven't been great. He's been okay. Um, but I I want to say Tua is going to have himself a good game, right? Arizona does give up. They give up a lot of points to quarterbacks. He was activated off my said effectively confirmed that would play Friday during the interview. So everything is he's playing. And I like the matchup against the Cardinals. And Tyreek is going to be ready and Waddle is going to be ready. I want to go with Tua in this situation. I want to go with Tua. Cousins or AR, I'm going Cousins. I don't like AR. I don't think he's good, guys. I've been talking about it. He's boomer bust. He's going to throw a 60-yard play or he's going to fart and fall down. I just don't like Anthony Richardson. I don't even know who Cousins is playing. I'm just going to go with they're playing Tampa. Yeah, and Tampa gives up a lot of points to QBs. Tampa gives up the second most amount of points to QBs. Look for Cousins to rebound. It's a Sunday noon game, so we're not worried about a primetime spotlight type thing with Kirk Cousins. I'm going with Kirk Cousins in that situation. Duncan says Kyler. I want to lean towards Tua. I really do. That offense is going to be ready. They really want to. They're chomping at the bit. Duncan, Zay or Brian Thomas? I'm going Brian Thomas. Brian Thomas has been on fire here as of late. Zay's been okay, but Brian Thomas has been great here as of late. I kind of doubted him a couple weeks ago, last week, but he's been playing. Last week he had 5 catches for 89 yards and a touchdown. With the exception of 2 weeks ago against the Bears, which Bears are a tough matchup. Green Bay is kind of a middle of the road for receivers. So I like that. Now let me take a look. My gut says Brian Thomas, right? But let's see. Zay's also questionable. He's going to be a game time decision for suiting up. So here we go again, guys. He's playing Cleveland. Cleveland's a horrible matchup, but do they take some precaution? It's a noon game, so you do have the opportunity to kind of see which one you want to play, right? They're both nooners, but I want to go with the guy who's healthy going into the game versus the guy who's banged up, especially a receiver like that with an ankle injury. So I don't know. I want to say Brian Thomas is who I want to go with. They've been offensively, they've been a little bit better as of late. So I need 4: Olave, Waddle, McMillan, Devontae Smith, Dobbs, and McMillan. So we got 2 McMillans. I'm assuming that's just one. So I want to go Waddle. I want to go Smith. I want to go Dobbs. What's Olave done the last couple of weeks? I mean, I don't like him, but I don't know what I'm going to get out of McMillan. Olave just has not been good this year, guys. He with Radler, he's coming off a concussion. He's gonna play. What did McMillan do anything for us? Anything? 3 of 8 targets. I mean, and he could be the guy. I mean, he could be one of the guys. I almost want to say, Olave's been nothing with Radler in there. Absolutely nothing. We're definitely going Waddle, Devontae, and Dobbs. And I think I want to go ahead and say McMillan is what I want to say. And Debo. But the problem with Debo is we just don't know. We don't want to we don't want to say we're going to start Debo and then Debo doesn't play and then we're out of luck and we're scrambling, right? Now, if you had somebody else for the 49ers on your roster or someone who was playing Monday night, that opens things up for us, right? Someone that we're like, okay, well, if Debo doesn't play, I can go ahead and plug and play this guy. And I don't think McMillan, yeah, they're the Sunday game. Those guys are all Sunday games. Those guys are all Sunday noon games. So, unfortunately, I think in this situation, while yes, if Debo's playing, we definitely want to play him, but we just don't know. And I would really love to play Debo against the Cowboys. But again, if he doesn't play, then we're kind of SOL. So that's again going with the guy who's healthy going into the week as opposed to the guy that we just don't know. Michael, what is going on? How are we doing? Hope we're doing good. Hill did not practice. Which Hill? What Hill are we talking about? We talking Tyreek? We talking about Justice? Who are we talking here? I got Faith. Go Pack, go. Yeah, I'm not a Packers fan, Lions fan, but hey. Start two: Sutton, Pittman, Wandell Robinson, Jalen McMillan. I like Sutton this week. Playing Carolina, I think Bo Nix is in line to have himself a pretty good time. One thing that does suck is he didn't get one target last week, which is crazy. I mean, just insane. Going from 6, 5, 9, 11, 4, 12 to 0 targets last week. Man, but you're playing Carolina. So we're not doing that 2 weeks in a row. We're not doing that 2 weeks in a row. I expect Bo Nix to have a pretty good game. And if Bo Nix is having a good game, I think Courtland Sutton's going to have a good game. Is where I'm sitting at with that. I think I want to go Wandell. Who's the Giants playing? Because Wandell's been pretty good this year. They're playing Pittsburgh. That's a tough matchup. That is a really tough matchup, but he's getting a ton of targets, guys. Like, we're looking at 8+ targets every week, except for week 2 where he got 2. He only had 6 catches last week for 23 yards. So if you're in a PPR format, though, you're doing pretty good there. Duncan was talking about Tyreek earlier. He did not practice. Okay, if Tyreek doesn't play, that especially makes me want to play Waddle for sure. I don't let. I'm not a big Pittman guy with AR in. Pittman has been irrelevant with AR at quarterback. If Tyreek was playing, cool, but no Tyreek. I don't know. Not Tyreek, Flacco. I don't know why I'm saying Tyreek there, guys. Sorry. He's got a good matchup against Houston. Week 1 in Houston, he had 4 catches for 31 yards on 8 targets. I want to go Sutton and I want to go Wandell Robinson is who I want to go with. Jason. That's where I'm falling on that. Sutton and Wandell Robinson. I'm not a big AR-15 fan. I can pivot off Devo to McMillan. There you go. Wandell Smith, Dobbs, Olave, Tyreek. Yeah, Sutton got me. Yeah. But here's the thing, Jason. Look at that's 1 week. That is 1 week for Courtland Sutton. Outside of that, he's getting targets. I mean 6, 5, 9, 11, 4, 12. He's getting you a decent amount of catches. And it's the matchup, right? Last week he's going against New Orleans, which is pretty good against the pass. Then they're pretty good at shutting down that number 1 receiver. Just ask Mike Evans about that. And you've got a good matchup against Carolina. I don't see him having 2 weeks in a row of 0. He's just not going to. I'm not seeing it, Jason. Yeah, Tyreek did not practice. Okay. What is going on with Tyreek? I hadn't heard anything about. He's listed as questionable right now. Foot. He is expected to play. He has dealt with a foot injury through the week and did not practice Friday after a long limited session Thursday. Appears he's still set to play though. I'll tell you what, Tyreek is happy. Tua's coming back. I could tell you that for sure. Time to sweat tomorrow, dude. Yeah. This is my opponent. Pick three: Sutton, Drake London, Tank Dell, Devontae Wicks, and Lockett. I want to go Drake London for sure. I like Drake. Um, Tank hasn't been great this year, guys, especially the last couple weeks. Um, we were actually talking about him Wednesday night. I mean, last week he had 4 targets with 0 catches. I don't think I don't think we see a repeat of that. Indy's a little bit worse against the pass, so he's got a little bit of a better matchup. He had 7 the week before for 57 and a touchdown. All right. No, he is not doing good. Wicks, what is Wicks? How I know he had that big blow up week, and I was kind of out on him the week after that. They got a good matchup against Jacksonville. Wicks really, I mean, last week he got you 3 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown. Um, he's finished second behind Dobbs in targets. I like the matchup. I will say that. I do like the matchup for Wicks. And then Lockett. Lockett got hurt. How is he doing? He looks good to go. Playing Buffalo, tough matchup. 4 catch. I mean, he's 4 catches at pretty much every week, guys. He's gonna get you 4 and 50 on average, right? He had 4 for 45, 4 for 65, 4 for 75, 5 for 61, 5 for 46, 2 for 15, 6 for 77. I mean, Tyler's, especially if you're in your PPR format, you can almost pencil him in for 10 points. What's up, UNLV? How you doing, man? Drop Dell for Waddle. I drop Dell for Waddle in a heartbeat, Michael. Yeah, yeah. So I think I'm going Drake London, Wicks, and I think Lockett's the safer play over Sutton. I do like Sutton this week for a rebound, but I mean Lockett, especially in your PPR format, you can almost lock him in for 10 points, right? 4 and 60. If you're getting a point for every 10 yards, just depending on what your yardage is, right? Just depends on how many points you're getting per yard in that. But yeah, I think that's where I'm going. London, Wicks, and Lockett for the safe play is where I'm going. But yeah, no, I would drop Dell for Waddle in a heartbeat. The fact that people were dropping Waddle is insane. And I wish somebody would have done that in one of my leagues because I would have scooped him up in a heartbeat just for the simple fact of if Tua comes back, you play him. Like it's a no-brainer for sure. Mario, Neighbors or Hunt, PPR Flex. Yes, I'm in an 8-man league. Hey, someone's got to be in an 8-man league. You ain't the only person who does an 8-man league. There are other people out there. Be proud of what you're in. All right, Mario, do that. I've been in 8-man leagues before. It happens. It's a little bit tougher, right? Because you've got a lot of really, really good choices. Now, Neighbors or Hunt, PPR, I think I want to go ahead and say Hunt. Right off the top of my head, I want to say Hunt on this. Um, they're going against Vegas. Yes, I like the matchup. And I mean, look at the last 2 weeks. You're getting last week you got 78 yards and 2 touchdowns. The week before 102 yards and a touchdown. He's going to get you a couple catches, not a lot. But the matchup against Vegas, and if I am right, let me just double check. League Neighbors, yeah, they're playing Pittsburgh, and that's going to be a tough matchup. I like Malik Neighbors, but in this situation, I'm going to go ahead and go with Kareem Hunt over Neighbors. Better matchup for Hunt. It's one of, and especially it's one of those like let's be honest for a second and look at the fact that Pat Mahomes has been awful this year, fantasy wise. He has been. He's been day old hot dog water, is what he's been. Okay. He hasn't been good. If that team gets up, they're going to go ahead and they're going to pound the ball and they're going to run the ball, is what they're going to do. And they're playing Vegas, and Vegas is bad. So they're going to run the ball a lot. So big dose of Kareem Hunt tomorrow. 100 yards and a touchdown is what we're getting out of him tomorrow, guys. At least one touchdown, maybe two going up against Vegas. We're going Kareem Hunt here. Goff or Mayfield. I'm going Goff. They're playing Tennessee, and Tennessee is not good. And here's the thing. Like you say, okay, they're going to go up big, right? Well, even with Detroit, if they go up big, they're still going to throw the ball. They're still going to throw the ball. I mean, we saw it a couple weeks ago when they played Dallas, and they were up by 37, and Jared Goff is still out there throwing touchdown passes. Now, some of that I think is they were wanting to prove a point and get a little revenge for what happened last year in Dallas. But Detroit isn't going to change their game, and they're going to run the ball a lot, but they're also going to pass the ball a lot. And they could be up by 20 or 30, and they're still going to go ahead and pass the ball. Ben Johnson is going to run his offense. The only thing with Mayfield, and I'm a huge Mayfield guy. I've been rolling with Mayfield in a couple leagues all year. And I love Mayfield. We don't have Chris Godwin. We don't have Mike Evans. That's what I don't like. That's what I don't like. And you know what? Baker he'll still find a way to kind of get his, but I want to go with Goff in this situation. No problem, Mario. Thanks for coming in and asking your questions, man. That's what we're here for. Duncan says Goff, Mayfield has no wide receivers. Yeah. Mayfield versus Atlanta. He'll still put up 30 though. He might. 100% he could. But he might not. It's an unknown, right? And if Baker goes and puts up 30 points this week again without the receivers that he has, without Godwin and without Mike Evans, cool. Now I've got some more confidence in him. But here's the thing. I'm going to play it a little bit safe. And it's not even like playing it safe because Jared Goff he's a great option to have, right? Let's not act like we're benching him for, I don't know. We're benching for someone who's not having a good season. We're not benching him for Pat Mahomes, who's having a garbage year this year. You know, let's just look at it. Since week 3, touchdowns for Goff 2, 2, 3, 2. 280, 315, 292, 199. The production is there. Jared Goff is playing great football right now. And here's another guy. If you need a wide receiver, a guy that you could probably let's take a look. Hold on. Let me give you the actual number right now for his availability, because this guy is available in essentially all of your leagues. And if you're hurting bye weeks, injuries, Tim Patrick is a guy to go and pick up for Detroit. With no Jameson Williams, I think Tim Patrick might have. Now, this is only if you're hurting, right? And you need a guy. That's a guy that's available in 99% of your leagues. And with no JMO for the next 2 weeks, he could get the benefit for the next 2 weeks, guys. So if you're hurting, or if you play DFS, if you do DFS, Tim Patrick's a guy you can go and get for cheap, so you can spend some money on some other guys who could have himself a big game. So, and UNLV, I hope he still puts up 30, because I think I got a league that I kind of have to play him in, unless there's someone I can go and pick up. I haven't really looked yet, but if anybody can do it, Baker can definitely. Duncan, all right. James Cook or Jordan Mason? Jordan Mason, and it's the matchup. They're playing Dallas, and Dallas is just awful against the run. Jordan Mason's your number 2 running back in the league this year, I think, 2 or 3, as far as yards are concerned. I love James Cook. Don't get me wrong. I love James Cook. But with the matchup, I love the matchup of Jordan Mason against Dallas. And they're just going to run that ball down Dallas's throat. I still know Micah Parsons. Still know Lawrence. So yeah, I like Jordan Mason over James Cook, and I love James Cook. Don't get me wrong, I love James Cook. I would try and find do we got a flex spot or a second RB that we can spot that we can put James Cook in? I mean, they're playing Seattle. Seattle is where are they at? They give up the 10th most points to running backs. Um, but yeah, I'm going Jordan Mason there. Anytime, Duncan. Yeah, you're right. Goff and Amon, dude. I love Goff and Amon. Those two guys are my. That is your flex, Duncan. Okay, yeah. Who are your starting RBs? That were flexing Mason or Cook. Man, I know we've talked about it before, but you always got to remind me. John, Kyler or Hurts? Okay. Um, let me take a look here. What is Hurts is playing Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense. How do we put this? Sucks. They're awful. They're awful. And Kyler, if I remember, sorry guys, I'm just all over the place. Yeah, they're playing Miami. I'm going Hurts. I'm going Hurts. I have JT and Walker. Okay, yeah, and we're playing Jonathan Taylor this week. And we're definitely playing Walker. So yeah, we're going and flexing. We're gonna flex Mason. Man, yeah, I'm going Hurts. I love the matchup. I love the matchup for Hurts against Cincinnati. Cincinnati's defense is just awful. It's going to be a shootout. They're going to have to keep up. Hurts is going to have to chunk the ball. Um, give me Hurts there. Monkey King's in the house. What's going on? I need one wide receiver, running back, and flex. My options are A-Chain, Swift, Reed, Adams, and more. Where are we at with Reed? Is he fully healthy? Yeah, it looks like he's off the injury report. Playing Jacksonville. He's been dealing with the ankle, but he's 100% off of that. So I do like Reed. I think Devontae will have a bigger week this week than he did last week. Who are the Jets playing? The Jets are playing New England. New England's not good. He had 9 targets last week. He only caught 3. Let's see here. Who else we got here? More. Um, are we talking DJ Moore? I'm assuming it's DJ Moore, which I mean, we haven't really gotten much. I mean, the last 2 weeks. I mean, last week we didn't get much out of him. He was on a bye. He had good weeks the 2 weeks before that. Let me know if that's DJ Moore. I still think I want to go ahead and go Devontae. Looking for him to have a bigger week this week. Um, as far as my wide receiver, and then maybe flex Reed. Yeah, DJ Moore. Okay. I think DJ Moore is going to be the odd man out there. And I think I want to go A-Chain, Swift, Reed, and Adams. And I think DJ Moore might be the odd man out. Chicago has figured something out with Swift. I'm not a big Swift guy. But I can't argue with his production over the last 3 weeks, getting touchdowns the last 3 weeks. Washington's a middle of the road team against the run. Um, he's going to get you a few catches if you're in PPR format. I like A-Chain to have a good week this week with Tua coming back. With Tua back, that puts the threat of the pass out there, and that opens up the lanes for A-Chain to run. So I think I'm going to set DJ Moore as the odd man out here and go ahead and go with. Oh, wait, we're only going 3. Give me A-Chain, Swift, and Adams. Achane, Swift, and Adams. Yeah, I want to go Achane, Swift, and Adams. I like Reed. Don't get me wrong. I do like Jalen Reed. You're playing Jacksonville, and that game can get out of hand. We're looking at with him. I mean, we got 3 weeks where he's getting the touchdowns, right? And outside of those weeks, he's just been okay. Jalen Reed's really touchdown dependent. A lot of people for that ball to go around to out there. I know the injury, he's off the injury report, but yeah, I think that's where I kind of want to go. Monkey. Let's go with Achane, Swift, and Adams for my 3. What's up, Lizzie? How you doing? John, should I trade JSN and Hawkinson for MHJ? My other receivers are Debo, Olave, Waddle, Dobbs, and McMillan. My tight end is Andrews. Let me look here. I don't, because we haven't gotten a ton out of Harrison, right? Like we're kind of we're not getting a ton of production out of Harrison. Hey, no problem, Duncan. Anytime, man. Thanks for coming by. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it as always. I don't think now, John, is it a dynasty league? Are we dealing with a dynasty league situation here? I, I I don't know that you make that move, man. I think you're giving up a lot for a player who hasn't done much. Um, I think Jackson Smith, I think, has outplayed him this year. We're at 60. Let's see here. 20 catches for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. 37 for 319 and 1 touchdown. So you're getting a little bit more touchdown production out of Harrison. Who knows what we're going to get out of Hawkinson when he comes back. I like Andrews, but Hawkinson could be a guy that will get you a little bit more. It's a redraft league. Yeah, I don't think I do that, John. I don't think I would. Waddle, you're fine with. Dobbs, you're fine with. Olave, you're good once Derek Carr comes back, and Debo just a week. I mean, I don't know that you play Marvin Harrison Jr. if you get him. I'm not benching with when Carr's healthy and when Debo's healthy. I'm not benching him for Debo. I'm not benching him for Olave. I'm not benching him for Waddle, and I'm not benching him for Dobbs. So I don't know that you even play him. Like I think you're helping the other guy out more. Keep the depth, to in case there's any more injuries, and then having Hawkinson and Andrews is a good problem to have. We don't know when Hawkinson's going to come back, so yeah, you could be getting rid of him for a player, but you're almost neck and neck the same as far as Jackson Smith and Marvin Harrison. So yeah, I don't think I do it. I think that's just a trade, just to make a trade. So Duncan, yes, you should. Okay. Let's see here. What we got here, Mark? Should I trade Garrett Wilson and Sam Laporta for Mike Evans and Waddle? I have DJ, DK in London, and you're 4-3. If you trade Laporta, who's your tight end, Mark? Not that we've gotten a ton out of Laporta this year, and hey, I'm a Lions fan, and his production just hasn't been fantasy wise. His production hasn't been there. Football wise, his production's been pretty good. Otten, okay, so you got Otten who could actually you could see an uptick with Otten. Like I would probably go ahead and play Otten this week over Laporta, with the absence of Mike Evans and Godwin. Um, how long is Evans? What's the latest on Evans as far as how long he's going to be out? He could be out 4 weeks. We're looking at a possibility of 4 weeks. So 1, 2, 3, a bye week. So maybe back week 12, week 13 is what we're looking at. So I don't mind getting rid of Garrett Wilson. You know what? I think I would. DJ, DK, and Lund. Well, you're getting too. So now here's the issue you're going to run into, Mark. And then maybe you make this move, and this is part of a two-part type thing, right? Because you can only play so many wide receivers. Now Evans, he goes on the bench for the next 4 to 5 weeks, right? Waddle's now in play to play with Tua back. DJ, I kind of put DJ on the back burner. I probably start Waddle over DJ. I'm going to start DK and I'm going to start London. How many wide receivers are you starting? That's kind of where I'm like, do you have too many receivers? And then here's what you do. Do you go ahead and try and turn one of those receivers into a running back to help strengthen your running back core? So I think if you make that move, it's a move to kind of maybe make some more moves. But I'm okay with trading Garrett Wilson and Sam Laporta for Mike Evans and Waddle. We know Evans is going to be out 4 to 5 weeks, but when he comes back, boom, he's in your starting lineup, and we're not taking him out. And we don't have to worry about a bye week. 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. So yeah, and then once Evans is back, you're playing Evans, and now you run into a conundrum of who you're playing as your second wide receiver. Because I think Mike Evans is automatically your number 1 wide receiver at that point in time. So then I look at trying to trade like DJ Moore for a running back. Is what I would then try to do and try and improve your running back situation. Your running back room is set. Where are we hurting that you're 4-3, man? Is it quarterback? Is quarterback killing you? Like, if your running back room is set, I would try to get a QB probably. Okay. Then work on getting a QB. Because I mean, wide receiver wise, you're gonna just be sitting on all these guys. And here's the problem. It's a good problem to have, though, right? You've got all these top tier wide receivers, and whoever you put in is going to be the wrong one each week. You know, that's kind of where we're sitting at with that, Mark. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with doing that. Sam Laporta hasn't done much. Cade Otton, I think we're going to be pretty good. Now, could Sam Laporta pick it up and finish the season better than Cade Otton? Yes, 100% he could. But you're rolling the dice there. I'm not expecting a ton out of Garrett Wilson going forward, and I'm not playing Garrett Wilson over DK or Drake London, to be honest with you. You know, Garrett Wilson's my number 3 in that situation. Possibly number 4 if DJ starts to pick up the pace a little bit. So you would definitely have a really strong receiver room, and then yeah, maybe you could try trade and pick up a quarterback if you're saying you're good. Running back wise, or maybe you try and turn one of those guys into maybe you can get Brock Bowers, right? Maybe you can go and get Brock Bowers and try and make a trade to get him in at tight end. Because let's be honest, it's Brock Bowers and then everybody else as far as tight ends are concerned. Although I think Travis Kelce will finish pretty strong this year. But yeah. Let's see here. JM, I'm a full PPR with the news that Debo is expected to play. Do I start him or Brian Thomas? I'm starting Brian Thomas because I don't know for sure that Debo was going to play. And if Debo doesn't play, you're out of luck. If I knew 100% Debo was playing, I would play Debo going up against Dallas. But I don't know for sure. And again, this is a situation that I've talked about and I'll continue to talk about it because it continues to come up. I got a guy who's expected to play a late Sunday night game, and I got a guy who's healthy who is going to play a noon game. I'm playing the guy that's healthy, not going into the game with an injury designation, versus the Debo who we don't know, right? Um, I'm going to go with Brian Thomas. And again, if Debo plays, he's going to ball out. But if we have the same situation we had a couple weeks ago with James Cook, where James Cook was expected to play Monday night and he didn't, now we're scrambling to pick somebody up, and we might not be able to get somebody to go ahead and put in that spot. And then we're taking a goose egg, right? So I'm going to take Brian Thomas in this situation just because I know he's going to play. Duncan agrees. You're welcome, John. If T. Higgins doesn't play, who should I flex instead? Ricky Pearsall, Tracy, Bucky, Wicks, or Odunze? Has Odunze done anything this year, guys? Like, honestly, I have not heard that guy's name all year. And that's because he really hasn't done anything. Outside of week 3, he's been bad. 2 for 40, 5 for 40, 1 for 10. Week 3 was great. 6 for 112 and a touchdown. 2 for 33, 1 for 11. We're not playing Rome. Rome is not our guy. Ricky Pearsall, if Debo's not playing, Ricky, he might have a pretty good week. I like Tracy, but we got a tough matchup against Pittsburgh. I mean, we thought Bucky was the guy, right? But then he's questionable going into this week. He's listed as questionable for Sunday's game against the Falcons. He's likely to play. What time is that game at? He's got a noon game, so we'll know pretty early. He had 9 rushes for 23 yards, but he did have the touchdown, 3 catches for 54. Did good the week before when he was the official starter with White being out, but White came back last week and White played good. What do you have? 2 touchdowns last week? 2 receiving touchdowns, 6 catches for 71 yards. Look for Rachaad White to have another big week with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out for sure. I like. I want to say I don't really like Wicks too much. Tracy, I mean, I kind of like Tracy. I like Tracy. I just don't like the matchup against Pittsburgh. That's my problem. And if they're down, he's not going to get a lot of action. Like they got the crap kicked out of him last week, and he only has 6 rushes for 23 yards and 3 catches for 9. If it's a closer game, he's going to be in there. But if they're getting beat bad, they're going away from the run and they're just passing it. I think we got to hope T. Higgins plays. Is kind of where we're sitting at. I'm not a big Wicks fan. He's boom or bust. I'm not expecting a lot. Bengals are hopeful that he'll still be able to play Sunday, so we're still looking at hopeful. If he plays, it's a good matchup against Philly. It's a noon game, so we're going to know pretty early. Here's the thing. If Higgins plays, we're playing Higgins. If not, I think I want to go Bucky Irving because I think Tampa's got to do something to make up for Evans and Godwin being out. And we know Bucky Irving is a playmaker, so I think they look to get him out there a little bit more. Maybe we got some more 2 running back sets where you got Bucky and you've got White in the backfield. Call a little motion, White comes out to the slot or something like that, right? Then you got Bucky back there. But I think Bucky Irving, I think they're going to look for ways to get him the ball. Ricky Pearsall, I mean, he's just last week was his first week back, right? We don't know if Debo is playing. We're kind of he might not get the ball that much, right? He had 5 targets, 3 catches for 21 yards. Again, it just depends on if Debo's playing. but we're not going to have the time to make that decision because we'll make that decision at noon. So I think it's going to be T. Higgins, and if he doesn't play, I think we go ahead and go with Bucky Irving is where I'm sitting at. Yes, yes. If Higgins plays, we're playing him. If Higgins plays, we're playing him because he's had a good year, guys. Like, let's not discount what T has done so far this year. You know, he's going to get you, especially if you're in your PPR format. We don't know for sure that Debo's playing. I'm not. I am not operating off the assumption that Debo was playing. I'm not. If you operate off the assumption, it's James Cook all over again. It is what I'm picking up. So we don't know that Debo was playing. They're saying he should, but who knows? And he's dealing with pneumonia. Like, again, if Debo's playing, I want to play him, especially against Dallas. But I don't know, man. I again, if I got someone who's healthy, I'm going with them versus going with Debo, and we're unsure. But yeah, if Higgins plays, we're playing him. I mean, you're looking at last week, 4 catches, 82 yards and a touchdown, 7 for 77, 9 for 83, 2 touchdowns, 6 for 60. Week 3, his first week back, he was 3 for 39, but he's been better since then. So that's where I'm at with that. Thank you guys so much for coming in. I definitely appreciate it. We're going to keep going. I'm just going through the questions as they're coming in. So if you got a question I haven't answered it yet, just because I hadn't gotten to your question yet, guys, I'm just going down the thing. I'm throwing the questions up as I'm getting to them, guys, and I'm doing everything I can. Let's see here. Trade Mahomes plus Brees or Kyron for Daniels, Pollard, and Neighbors. Redraft Superflex. Your wide receiver 1 now is Jefferson. I mean, he should have been he is your number 1. Okay. And other QBs are I don't like Rich. I don't like Jameis. I'm 2-5. Can't decide which running back to trade. Okay. Jane Daniels has been better than Pat Mahomes. Is Jane Daniels going to stay healthy all year? Hopefully he learned a lesson after last week and the rib injury. Hopefully he plays this week because I really want to see Caleb versus Daniels. I think it's going to be a hell of a game. I like Jane Daniels a lot. I've been one of his biggest fans, talking him up, especially fantasy wise, all year. I think he's got something out there, and Washington's figured out how to use him, and they've been playing great. Pollard and Neighbors. I think I would hold on to. Well, okay, so Kyron scored a touchdown in like 10 straight games. I think it is, right? Man, do we get rid of Kyron or do we get rid of Brees? Because I like getting Daniels and I like getting Neighbors. I'm 2-5. I mean, we got to make a move, right? We got to make a move at this. Mahomes has not been good at all. He has not. Do we want to? I mean, Brees Hall's having a good year this year, right? He's catching the ball out of the backfield. He's running good. But Williams is. I mean, at some point in time, Williams isn't going to score a touchdown, right? I think we got to hold on to him though. Like, I really do. Because you're looking at 1 touchdown, 3, 1, 2, another touchdown this last week. You look at his next 3 games: Seattle, Miami, New England, all suck against the run. You got Philly, that's tough. Then you got New Orleans, Buffalo. I think you hold on. I think you trade away Brees Hall. Is the guy I would do. So I would do Mahomes and Brees, especially if you get Daniels, Pollard, and Neighbors. But I mean, if I'm on the other end of that, I'm not pulling the trigger on that. But if you can make that happen, go for it. Go for it. Should I drop Dowdle for Warren half PPR? So I really like Jalen Warren, but the problem with Jalen Warren is Najee Harris, and Najee keeps him off the field. Dowell, he's the RB1 there in Dallas. I don't like him, but I like him more than I do Jalen Warren. So yeah, so I'm gonna go Dowell. Um, leaving Puka out this week. Hopefully you played Puka this week. You play Puka every week now, man. Let's see here. What do we got? My receivers playing in the morning, and I have Olave playing at 1. I'm going to see if I need a high upside from Debo or just play Olave. I mean, man, that's tough because what were we looking at there, John? Hold on. Let me just go back. Yeah, I mean, what were you playing? We haven't gotten anything out of Olave with Spencer Rattler. We just haven't. I don't know, man. Cousins or Dak? So we know Dak's playing Pittsburgh. Not Pittsburgh. I'm sorry. The 49ers. Cousins is playing Tampa, and they give up a lot of points to your quarterbacks, guys. They give up the second most points to quarterbacks. But we could have a situation where Dak has to throw a lot. I mean, he does have to throw a lot. I don't want to say we could have a situation. We do have a situation where he has to throw a lot. But he's got 4 interceptions in the last 2 weeks. Whew, 6 on the year. I want to go Kirk Cousins. I like the matchup better. That's kind of where I'm sitting at with that one. Give me Kirk Cousins and Cousins to rebound. Rough week last week. I think he has a better week this week for sure. Better matchup. Give me a noon game too, right? And Kirk Cousins is pretty damn good at noon and during new games. We don't know that Debo's playing, man. Najee over Olave, yes. I'm taking Najee over Olave. Guys, I'm getting to everything. I'm about 6 minutes behind right now, so that's kind of where I'm sitting at. Just to give you a heads up, but I am working through everything that I have coming in here. But yeah, give me Najee over Olave. I don't like Olave with Spencer Rattler. If Derek Carr was playing, that's a different story. But Derek Carr's doubtful. He's not playing. It's going to be another Spencer Rattler game, and he's not good. Give me Najee. Give me Najee. Michael, I started Chase, London, and Adams. Figured to give Puka a week, but clearly he didn't need it. Yeah, but I mean, you've got Chase, London, and Adams, right? Like, again, that we were talking about this situation earlier when we were talking about, hey, should I trade for these 2 wide receivers? And now all of a sudden I'm going to have this huge stacked wide receiver room where anybody would love to have any of these guys. You got 4 really good guys. Whoever you bench is going to have a big week every week. That's just all there is to it, Michael. That's just the way it's going to work. You just hope it's not as there's the gap is small, right? Yep, Waddle and McConkey also. Damn. Embarrassment of riches is what we got there. McConkey, we're still kind of feeling out though, right? I think he'll be good towards the end of more closer towards the end of the year as they just kind of they're figuring things out there with the Chargers still. Waddle with Tua back, that you love having that back, right? But yeah, I think I would I would have done the same thing, Michael. Chase, London, and Adams. If I would have done anything, I think it would have been. I mean, Chase, yes, the Chase you sit and forget. London's working on doing that. Devon, I mean, yeah, I think I do the same thing, especially the first week back. Yeah, they offered me the same offer for both RBs, and it would go through after this week. Only thing is, Brees has an easier playoff schedule if I'm able to make it there. And that's something definitely to take a look at, right? If you're looking at that, but I'm just looking at a guy who's getting in the end zone every single week. Yes, it's eventually going to stop, but I mean, you just keep riding it while you can, right? And I think things get better for Kyron with Puka and um, cutback. That definitely helps. Now, if there's any truth to these rumors that the Vikings are working on trying to trade for Stafford, but I think if you're the Rams, I don't know that you make that move unless you're going in full rebuild mode, and they're not. Um, I just don't see McVay signing off on that and getting rid of Stafford. He loves Stafford. So, but yeah, I like Kyron going forward. Um, he's having a great year. There's no reason for him not to keep doing that. Um, I like Brees is having a good year too. Again, it's a tough choice. But if I got to choose one, I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Brees. Um, and I don't like the Jets. The Jets' offensive line isn't good. There's a lot of discourse there on the team. Man, we'll see what goes on there. Full PPR, Chase Brown or Bigsby / ETN. I don't like Bigsby or ETN. I'm not super excited about Chase, but I think I like him more. Let me just look here. I mean, right off the top of the head, I want to say Chase Brown, right? Didn't get us much last week, 15 rushes for 44 yards, but you're seeing a high usage out of him. Philly's really good against the run, though. Okay, so we've got that. Um, Green Bay, Bigsby. I mean, he played New England last week. Green Bay's middle of the road against the run. Um, is ETN playing this week? He's questionable. Um, ETN would be a game time decision. If ETN doesn't play, I love Bigsby. I think I go Bigsby in that situation if ETN doesn't play. He, he's questionable. Bigsby's been playing good. I think they got to let him sit, right? Let him sit. Let him get healthy. Um, but I like Bigsby, especially if he's the only running back there. If ETN's there, he eats into his usage. Um, I like the matchup is better than it is with Philly. Let's hope ETN doesn't play and play Bigsby. That's where I'm going to sit with that. With DK doubtful, am I screwed or am I? Should I start Worthy or Bateman? Let's take a look. What is DK officially? Let me look. I haven't looked at DK yet this week. He is doubtful. 305 MCL sprain. Okay, so he's not playing. So let's work off the assumption that he's not playing. Again, we got a guy who's doubtful. Afternoon game. We got a couple guys that are healthy. I like Worthy. The only problem with Worthy is it's boomer bust with him. They're going to find opportunities and ways to give him the ball. He did have 8 targets last week, but only got 3 catches. 6 targets the week before, 3 catches, 4, 3. So he's getting about 3 catches a game. Um, Part of that is Mahomes just hasn't been good this year. Um, kind of like Bateman. Um, Bateman's going to get you 4 catches. He's going to have some decent catches. He's got 3 touchdowns on the year. I mean, really, it's 4 catches the last 3 weeks, 4 targets the last 2 weeks, 121. Big play. Playing Cleveland. Let's go Bateman playing Cleveland is where I want to roll on that one, Jack. Um, the thing Worthy, they find ways to get Worthy the ball. I just think Bateman is the safer play in this situation. Now, Worthy is going to get you a couple catches. He could have a big play for like 70 yards, touchdown, right? Um, I think DeAndre kind of helps Worthy out a little bit, taking a little bit of pressure off of him. Um, But yeah, I think that's where I want to go. Let's see here. Should I start ETN, D Hopper, Pittman? I'm not. We don't even know if ETN is going to play. Is where we're falling out with ETN. We don't know. We're actually hoping he doesn't play if we're a Bigsby owner, like we talked about earlier. But even if he does play, I don't like ETN. Now I think it comes down to D Hop or Pittman. I'm not a huge Pittman fan when Anthony Richardson is in there. But D Hop, we don't know. I want to pump the brakes on Hopkins, guys. And I know a lot of people are super excited about him, but he's not the same guy, right? He's not on the injury report because he's miraculously healed. I think I want to go Pittman, and as you guys know, I'm not a huge Anthony Richardson fan. I don't like Pittman. I don't like any of the receivers there when he's in there because if they're getting anything, it's off a big plays, right? Um, but I think in this situation with our options, we're going to go Pittman with this one, Dalton. I'm just not sold on D Hop yet. 4 years ago, I'm super excited about this, but Pat Mahomes hasn't been that good this year. D Hop he's just old, and then I just don't like ETN. Yeah. Yeah. Start one: Pollard, Jalen McMillan, Nick Chubb, Cedric Tillman. I don't like Pollard this week against Detroit. McMillan, you're hoping he picks up the slack. Drop Tillman for Leggett. What? What? No, I don't. Maybe. Okay, hold on. Or Pittman. Okay, we'll get to you here in a second, John. I kind of got ahead of myself there. Okay, I want to go. Let me just look at Tillman real quick. I kind of want to hold off on Tillman, guys. And it's just again, we're looking at what we did with the, Wicks a few weeks ago, where Wicks went off, had a huge week, and then the next week everyone's like, "Should I play him? Should I play him?" I said, "Let's hold off. It could be just a boom 1 week, right?" Um, I just don't. I don't know. I think I want to go Nick Chubb. He got in the end zone for us last week. Another week back. Jerome Ford's out again, so it's Nick Chubb's backfield. I just don't like Pollard against Detroit this week. I think they could be getting away from the run because Detroit's up big. We're unsure with Tillman. We're unsure with McMillan. Nick Chubb, we know is going to get the ball. I don't think it's Pittman. Don't let's see here or Pittman. I want to go Nick Chubb. We know he's getting the ball. Let's go there. Drop Tillman for Leggett. Here's the we don't. I don't know what to do with Leggett, guys, because if I could just spell. He hasn't done much. We got Bryce Young back. No Deontay Johnson. He's definitely enrolled for, but they're playing Denver this week and Bryce Young. But I think looking forward, I think Leggett is the better play over Tillman. So I get, but hold off a week. That's what I think we need to do. Let's hold off a week on that decision. Let's see what Tillman does this week. Unless you're just really antsy. I mean, but you got Tillman already. So I think you've kind of got a little bit of the higher ceiling with Tillman. Leggett, we just don't know what we're getting with him. We just don't know. And I think you'd be fine. Let's see what Tillman does this week. Let's stand pat. Let's keep Tillman. Leggett will be there next week. Leggett will be there next week. So, is it worth dropping Mayfield for Cousins this week? Um. All right. Let's see here. Just for 1 week, here's the problem. Someone's gonna pick up Mayfield. Like I like Cousins over Mayfield this week. I do. We're without Evans for 4 to 5 weeks. We're without Godwin for the rest of the year. Um, I think I. Oh, that's tough. That's tough. Um, I don't know if I do. 'Cause Mayfield's been great this year. I do really love Cousins, but Mayfield cause that, yeah. Again, big Mayfield guy. I'm a big Cousins guy too. I like them both. I think they're both going to put up good years. Um, man, I think Cousins has a bigger week this week. Cousins could be big for the next 4 to 5 weeks. We don't know where we're going to get out of Mayfield. That's a tough call. I think I do. I don't. Do we have someone else we can drop and maybe carry them both? Is that an option? Do we not have somebody else on the roster that we can drop and have them both? Because if Mayfield could go off this week, right? We could have a situation where these other receivers step up and play good, and Baker is still Baker. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. I want to try and look to maybe drop someone else. I do like playing Cousins this week over Baker. I just don't know that I want to make that commitment to drop Baker because I think someone will pick him up because I like Baker, especially if Baker has a big week, right? And you got to hope you're able to pick him back up. Um, Baker's just been really good this year, but I do like Cousins over Baker this week. I'm looking to drop somebody else. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. No problem, Smokey. All right, what we got here, Dylan? What's up? Full PPR, different leagues. Start 2 flex. Bateman, Odunze, Purcell, Shakir, Olave. Okay, that's the first one. We got to start 2. We're starting Bateman and Shakir. Bateman and Shakir. Odunze's done nothing this year. Purcell, we just don't know. Again, with Purcell, I think it kind of matters if Debo's playing or not playing. Olave is not an option with Spencer Radler in there. I just think you've got a better option with Shakir and Bateman. I think those are the 2 safer plays. Bateman, 100%, right? It's not a question at all as far as him. I think it then comes down to, are we starting Purcell? Are we starting Shakir? I think Shakir is a safer play without knowing what's going on with Debo. That's where I'm at with that, Dylan. Start 1 flex, 1 tight end. Javonte, Will Bateman, Purcell, Komet, Ertz. Okay. I like Javonte. And so we got Javonte, Bateman, or Purcell. Give me Javonte. And then as far as tight end is concerned, I haven't looked at Komet in a minute. So let me see what has Komet done for us. Playing Washington, he's got you 59 points. And those are all in 2 weeks, right? Week 3 and week 6. Boomer bust. We're eating, it's feast or famine. And Zach, I mean, he just got his first TD, but he's consistent. 4, 4, 2, 3, 5. I think kind of on a per week average, he's getting you more. So just do you want to go for the home run? If you want to go for the home run, we're starting Komet over Ertz. Ceiling's higher with Komet than Ertz. Ertz is just a middle of the road guy. So so I think I'm going Komet there. Start 1 QB. Caleb, I think I'm gonna go Caleb here. I don't like Anthony Richardson. I'm not super high on Baker this week because I want to see what's gonna happen. Could just be nothing. could have a big week. We don't know. But Washington's not great defensively. And Caleb's going to want it with Jane Daniels playing as good as he's been playing. Hopefully, Jane Daniels plays. I really hope he does because that's the matchup I want to see. But yeah, I think I'm going Caleb in this situation. He's looked good the last few weeks. So start 1 QB, 2 RB, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex. Tua, Daniels. I'm not playing. Kurt. Tough matchup for Daniels. I do love Jaden Daniels. I do love him. Tough matchup with Chicago. I like Kirk Cousins. I like Tua. Give me Tua. 2 RBs. Jacobs, Dobbins. K9, G. Willis, Terry, D. Hop, Daniels. Oh, we got to start 1 wide receiver and 1 flex. Give me JK. Who are they playing this week? Hold on. I'm just going off of names. I need to look at some. They're playing New Orleans. Yeah, I'm playing JK there. JK and Jacobs. Dobbs. I like Dobbs for our receiver. And in our flex, so going Jacob and Dobbins. Dobbs is our wide receiver. Garrett Wilson. And then Garrett Wilson. Yeah. Guy dropped Waddle in my league and dropped him for D Hop. I wouldn't do that. That's dumb. If this was D Hop 4 years ago, cool. But Waddle wasn't in the league. Yeah, that was there no. Yeah, no. I would not drop Waddle for D Hop. I don't think that's smart at all. Jalen Reed, Waddle, or Pickens. We're picking one. I'm gonna go with your Higgins side. Oops, MB. Your Higgins side. Would you accept? I would be wrong. Okay, hold on. I'll get that in a second. Froggy. Froggy. We going Jaden Reed, Waddle, or Pickens. That's a pretty good one. No injury concerns with Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed's been really good this year. Good matchup against Jacksonville. I like that matchup. I do like Waddle, especially we don't know if especially if Hill doesn't play. I love Waddle. But we don't know for sure. Noon game, so we should know by then. Arizona's a good matchup. Pickens, I mean, Pickens look New England, New York. That's a good matchup. 9 targets last week. With Russ in there. Russ really was targeting him. Man, that's a tough one, Froggy. We got good matchups with all 3 of them. Pickens? I want to go Pickens or Reed. There. If I know Hill's not playing, I might go Waddle. But that's more of a game time decision type thing. I think I want to lean towards Pickens there. I do. I think Green Bay might run the ball a lot tomorrow. Okay, your Higgins side. Would you accept B Rob and Bigsby for him? Trading away Brian Robinson and Bigsby. Okay, hold on, Amazing. You're on the Higgins side. So you're getting Higgins. So you would be trading away. Here's what I do. If I could trade away CMC, I'll do that instead of Brian Robinson because we don't know if CMC is even going to see the field. And I'm okay with trading away Bigsby. What's your running back situation look like after the trade? Um, but I mean, if you're asking me if I would trade away CMC and Bigsby for Higgins, yeah, because I don't know if CMC is even going to see the field. We have no idea if he's going to see the field again, ever. And I'm not just talking this year, I'm talking ever. CMC could be done. We've been talking about this for a few weeks, guys. I don't know that CMC is going to play again. Um, After I trade CMC, ETN or Pollard's my RB. Okay, well, Pollard's your RB2. It's not ETN. Um, here's the thing. Here's what we got to look at. I mean, CMC was supposed to just maybe miss week 1, right? And then now here we are in week 8. He's dealing with that arthritis in both Achilles. Achilles is no joke. We could be looking at a Todd Gurley type downfall, except for worse, really, because Todd Gurley still kept playing, right? And then his just production just kept dipping and dipping and dipping. CMC was at top of the world, and then now he's just gone. CMC is your dad that went out for smokes, who said, "I'll be right back. I'm going to go get a pack of smokes." And we ain't seen him since. That's what CMC is. Then it was one Achilles, then both. Yeah. I mean, he goes to Germany to see a specialist. I mean, if you could trade away CMC, do it. Trade CMC. I almost want to say do CMC and ETN. Because I mean, ETN has just been bad. I don't like ETN this year. I haven't liked ETN all year. He's a touchdown dependent. Bigsby's looked better. So if you could trade away CMC and ETN and get Higgins, do that. And with Brian Robinson and you got Bigsby and you got Pollard, I mean, I think Pollard's going to be your number 2. I don't like Pollard this week against Detroit. And I mean, and ETN's hurt, right? ETN's probably not playing this week. So not tomorrow. Exactly. He went out. He's like, "I'll be back. I need a pack of smokes." And he's like, go ahead and set up Monopoly. You're getting ready to play Monopoly, right? You're like, "Hey, Dad, let's play Monopoly." He's like, "Cool. Set it up. I'm going to go get some smokes." And here we are 15 years later. We're still waiting. Monopoly game's just sitting there on the table. I'll try and do it if he accepts. It's good for me. Yeah, I mean, that's what I would do. Amazing. I'd get rid of ETN. I'd get rid of CMC and get Higgins and love life. And if he takes that, I mean, I wouldn't take it, but you're on the good side of it. So maybe he's like, "Oh, CMC." There are still some people out there that are still in love with CMC, and I don't get it. We haven't seen him. I don't think we're going to see him. Um, Jordan Mason's been great this year. So yeah, that's where I'm getting you earned this up. Thank you, Amazing. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. That's all I'm doing. I'm out here hustling and grinding, trying to get some subs, man. Just out here, we're talking fantasy football. We're being a sounding board, just talking through the stuff. Need this one. Flex Pollard, Ramondre, or Keon Coleman. Well, I don't like Pollard this week. I just don't like him up. I don't like him against Detroit. I think Detroit comes up big in that game. I Stevenson practice fully on Thursday. The Jets is a tough matchup. Keon Coleman probably had his best game of the year. 4 catches for 125. Season high, 7 targets. Seattle's not that great against the pass. Flex Pollard, Ramondre, or Keon Coleman. That's a tough one. I don't like the matchups that Pollard and Ramondre have. I do like the matchup that Coleman's having, but you're dealing with a guy who's looking for targets, right? Um, We know Pollard's going to touch the ball. We know Ramondre's going to touch the ball. Let me just look at something here. This is a tough one. This is a pickle. You got me in a pickle. Detroit's just really good against the run. Even in games where they're getting blown out. They don't really have a lot of games where they're getting blown out. But you're looking at 16 carries. Man, Judah, I think I want to go Keon Coleman here. I think I want to go Keon Coleman. I don't like Ramondre's matchup against the Jets. I don't like Pollard's matchup against Detroit. Is it PPR? I mean, if you go with a running back, I think I want to go Ramondre over Pollard. But I think I want to go Keon Coleman. I think that's what I want. I like Keon Coleman. Was veteran. That kid will be good next year. Give him time. Yeah, I think I think Keon Coleman is going to see a benefit with Amari Cooper there. Like Amari Cooper draw some attention away from him. So that's kind of where I'm going there. Kyle, Chase Brown or Jackson Smith and Jigba. If DK misses, I'm going Jackson Smith because he then absorbs the targets that DK was going to get. Kyle, a full PPR. I think I'm going to go Jackson Smith if DK doesn't play because someone's got to catch the ball there, and that just helps Jackson Smith out. I do like Chase Brown, but I think the situation we're dealing with Chase is you're just dealing with a tough matchup against the run, right? Philly's really good against the run. And when Chase has gone up against teams that are good against the run, he's just been okay. So go ahead and give me Jackson Smith if DK doesn't play, because he just slips in for him in the lineup on a team in Seattle that, while they do love to run the ball, they do pass the ball a fair amount. Yes, PPR, not feeling Pollard at all. Yeah, I'm not feeling Pollard at all. I like Coleman too. Yeah, Ramondre breakout or rebound game is uncertain. It's just a tough matchup against the Jets. Like the Jets aren't a great team, but they are good against the run, and they don't give up the run. They give up the pass, but they don't give up the run. So that's where I'm sitting at with that. I don't like Pollard at all. I like Ramondre, just a bad matchup, and I think Coleman's the guy to go there. McBride or Ferguson, PPR McBride. It's not even a. I don't even think it's a question, honestly. Jake Ferguson has just been. He's just there. 0 touchdowns on the year, 3 catches, 6, 7, 6. San Francisco, I mean, right? You would expect them to had a big week a couple weeks ago when they had to pass the ball a lot. We just didn't have anything. You're just not getting anything out of Ferguson. And I'm someone who had some. I'm not going to say I had high expectations for Jake Ferguson this year, but I definitely thought he was going to do better than what he's doing. But Trey McBride is a guy that, I mean, last 3 weeks, 7 targets, 8 targets, 9 targets, 5, 8, 6 catches. Your production, I think, is better. McBride has not gotten the end zone yet. Tough matchup with Miami, but Kyler likes McBride. A higher ceiling with McBride than you do with Ferguson. Give me McBride. And McBride's just better than Ferguson. That's where I'm going to fall at with that too. Give me McBride over Ferguson. Mick Ferguson. He's not Mick. Ferguson has just been a disappointment this year. He really has. Compared to expectations, McBride's been a little bit of a disappointment. A lot of people were predicting him as a top 3 tight end this year, and he's just not. But we've also seen a huge dip in the tight end production this year overall. Like overall, tight end production is down. We don't have those guys that are getting us all those points like we've had in years past. Um, but in this situation, I'm going McBride over Ferguson. I just don't. I don't trust that Dallas offense at all. Um, I don't think they're good. Their defense isn't good. It's just Dallas is just bad all around this year. I'm can't wait to see who the next head coach of that dumpster fire is going to be next year. Because McCarthy, I mean, McCarthy's playing on an expired contract, right? He's not coming back next year. Why would he want to? You got a GM and Jerry who doesn't get you anything. You got worse from last year to this year. No, no, no. But yeah, give me McBride in that situation. That's where I'm falling. All right, guys. We've been going live for about an hour and a half now. It's getting late. I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. But I'm going to answer this one last question for Kyle. Kyle says DeVonta Smith or Tank Dell. DeVonta Smith. I'm predicting a big game out of Philly tomorrow for Jalen Hurts going up against that Cincinnati defense, which is just terrible. High scoring game there. Give me DeVonta Smith over Tank Dell. Tank Dell has just been kind of a little underwhelming. So, yeah, DeVonta Smith, Kyle, that's where we're going with that one. But thank you guys so much. I definitely appreciate it. I'll be back again next Saturday. We'll be back on Wednesday. Me and Rapid Dave will doing our recap from last week and talking some early stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. Michael, as always, appreciate you. Everybody else, new subs, thank you guys so much. It's been a blast. We'll talk to you guys later. Hey, dubs for everyone. As always, I'm Alan. Talk to you later. Deuces.